Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Final Fantasy Draft. Huge shout out to Wizards of the Coast for the free preview account in this early access event so I can get this recorded for you early. Okie doke, what are we working with? Here are Rare is a Mythic, which is not particularly strong in my opinion, because 6 mana for an equipment is a lot, and then you have to spend 5 to equip it, and then if your life total is low, it might not even be getting that big of a boost. Like, by the time you're spending 6 mana, you could be taking a bunch of damage, and if your life total is already at 20 in controlling decks, then you're probably in good shape, and spending 11 mana is a lot of mana, even if it is over 2 turns. The other uncommons, the cards we're working with, are much better. Ilmeg Pixie's really nice, 2 mana, 2/1, attacks, surveils 1, sets up your draw step, really nice card, and then there's Overkill, 3 mana, basically just kills a creature. If that creature has 1,000 toughness, you've got bigger problems. There's also Gladiolus Amicitia, 6 mana, 6/6, landfall. When a land enters, target creature gets +2/+2 in trample. So that's a really nice top end card for a red-green deck. And then in the commons, there's Sephiroth's Intervention as a kill spell, and there's Sabotender, which I like as a 2-drop aggressive threat. I think I'm just going to start with Overkill over the Ilmeg Pixie. I think those two are the main two I was choosing between, but we'll just start with the Overkill and work from there. Now, pack 2. We aren't committed to playing black. That's just important to get out of the way. We could play any color combination, but we're just leaning a little bit towards black because we do have this strong card. Hey, why don't you try out that sword I gave you? Waka, that's funny. Good flavor text. Classic. Well, our rare in this pack is missing, so we're just looking at the uncommons. There is Battle Menu, which is really nice. It can be a 2/2 white creature. It can be a +0/+4 trick. It can destroy a creature with power 4 or greater, or you can gain 4 life. So all those modes are going to have some use, though the life gain mode is the least useful. But that's a nice flexible card. There is also Judge Magister Gabranth, so another card that would put us into white. However, because we are not committed to playing black, we're going to take the battle menu here because we can still combine this with other cards. So if black isn't open, which we don't really have an indication that it is open because we don't get a huge signal from this pack, but if black isn't open, we can just draft white plus some other color, like white-blue or something like that. And if white's not open, we can draft black plus some other combo. So it's really good to stay flexible and able to draft whatever colors seem to present themselves. Now we see a really powerful uncommon, the Crystal's Chosen. It is a lot of mana. 7 is a lot in limited because once you start getting to turn 4, turn 5, you start to miss your land drops more. So turn 6 mana versus 7 mana is like a couple of turns difference, whereas 3 mana versus 4 mana is much closer to just 1 turn's difference. So Crystal's Chosen is really expensive, but 4 1/1s and then putting a counter on each creature is a lot of stats for one card. In other news, there is Heck Dies at common, so it makes them discard a card. There is Town Greeter, which can be useful for digging. You mill 4, and then you can put a land from among them to your hand, so it helps you find lands, gives you a little body. There's Travel the Overworld, which draws 4 cards, and can be a little cheaper if you have towns. And Queen Brane makes a 0/1 wizard whenever it attacks, so that could be useful. I think we will take the Crystal's Chosen, though, see if we can maybe get this to work, and maybe win the game at 7 mana. Interesting. So it looks like white-black might be open, because pick 4, we are still seeing white cards and black cards, and then white-black cards. So we see Judge Magister Gabranth, so again, a white-black card. We also see Delivery Moogle. So Delivery Moogle is 4 mana, and then you can search for an artifact card with mana value 2 or less, put it into your hand. So we are going to be able to snap up an artifact to grab with this, I'm pretty sure. There's plenty to choose from. Even something like Lunatic Pandora could be taken. There's a black-white dual land. There is Gaius Van Belsar. So 4 mana, then each player sacrifices something. So you can choose this mode to be maximally beneficial for you. And then there's Rydia's Return, so a way to give all creatures +3/+3. I think we're going to take the Delivery Moogle, stick to white. We don't have to commit to a second color yet, and I do think this card is strong. And we don't have to choose black, but black is looking maybe open, and green is looking maybe open as a good pairing here. Okay. Now another choice. There is Slash of Light, which could go well into a white deck that's playing a bunch of creatures, so maybe a good removal spell. There's also Demon Wall, so it's a 2 mana 3/3, but in the late game you can spend 6 mana to basically turn it into a 5/5 menace, so that's good upside. The white card is tempting though, because we could still try to pair white with something else. Paladin's Arms is another white card, not the greatest, but it does play well with something like Slash of Light. And then like a couple of black cards, like Vincent's Limit Break isn't great. So the black cards are pretty much Demon Wall and then Slash of Light. Those are my 2 main options. I'm going to take Slash of Light here. I still want to leave myself open to playing a green-white deck, and this card could be really good there. And Demon Wall is much better in more controlling black decks, and my deck is potentially leaning towards being a more aggressive white deck by being like a tokens deck or something like that. Okay, so here we see Heck Dies as a black card. There is Ice Magic as a blue card. There's Fate of the Suncrest as a white card. Then there's Capital City as a land that can be cycled in the late game or used to fix mana. So that's kind of an interesting option. I'm choosing between Fate of the Suncrest to just stick with white and Capital City to give myself some more optionality, and also a land that can cycle is definitely a good upside. I think I'm just going to take Fate of the Suncrest, though. Stick to white. Sabotender. There's options in every color here that I'm tempted by, but for now we're just going to take the white cards and stay flexible. Another Capital City. There's also Phoenix Down as a white card, so you can return a creature with mana value 4 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Because we have this delivery Moogle, we really do want to have some artifacts to choose from, and I think that having access to Phoenix Down is going to be good for our deck. So we're going to take that here. Over the Charlayan, we're not sure if we're going to be playing blue. Over Capital City again. Over Bard's Bow. There's some options here. The rare, not particularly playable. I know I'm hovering over the cards too quickly. I'll work on that for the next pack. But this card's a really expensive rare that you can't really play because 5 black pips is really hard to cast. Okay. Now, a late Gaisal Greens. I really like this card. It's a 2-drop. It makes another body late. Galacat is also interesting because if we are building an artifacts deck, we could potentially have a 3/3 flying vigilance, but I don't love that card. I'd rather get the Gaisal Greens. Looking at my mana curve, I don't have any 2-drop creatures except for Battle Menu right now. Green-white is a good home for Crystal's Chosen, and I think the Gaisal Greens is a nice card. Taking a white card is tempting, though. So now we're white with 1 black card, 1 green card, and 1 red card. I think Sabotender is the pick here. We're not interested in this mythic still. I don't think that Galuf's Final Act is very good, but Sabotender is a really nice aggressive red card. And things are looking pretty reasonable. Now we get Quarrel. I think this is a great 2-drop. In the early games, you just have a 2/2, but late game, you can tap stuff. So good upside. It's not even that expensive to tap. Wow. So lots of red cards here. Queen Brane is interesting, very tempting. There's also the Rabanastra Royal Keep. We'll just take the red card because we're not even sure we're playing red. And if you're not sure you're playing the colors, it's better to get a card that gets you into that color than a land for it. Now we'll take You're Not Alone. We could take Lunatic Pandora to just have another card for our delivery Moogle, but I'd rather just get a good combat trick for our white deck. Now we'll take Magic Damper. We don't want the Adventurers in. And Item Shopkeep last, so the person passing to us chose to pass at this card. They're saying basically they don't want to play red. They don't care about the equipment, really. Pack 2. What are we looking at here? So we're looking for direction to see if we want to go into red or green. I think those are the 2 main ones. Black seemed like it had some good cards early, but nothing crazy. Our rare from Father to Son is a vehicle payoff, and we're not going to really see vehicles in this set that often, so not going to be taking this. There's Coral Sword as a combat trick / way to enable artifact synergies. There's also Thunder Magic, which I think is the best card in the pack in terms of just power level. Great removal spell, very flexible. And then there's a card like White Mage's Staff, which would go well with our delivery Moogle. But I think red was looking open towards the end there, even like getting the Queen Brawn, the Sabotender. And so I think Thunder Magic is going to be a good pick. The Wind Crystal, not a great card. Giving our creatures flying and lifelink, but it costs like 10 mana to get to that point. Is quite expensive. There is Ash, which is going to be able to look for artifacts. So we already have a couple artifacts. One artifact. I thought Phoenix Down was, yeah, Phoenix Down is an artifact. I guess we didn't actually take any of the artifact equipments yet. But this card could be useful. There's also Instant Ramen, which can be used with Delivery Moogle. Get it a card. There's another Queen Brana. White Mage's Staff. I'm tempted to just take another Queen Brana, though we're still not committed to... I guess we're kind of committed to red at this point. Let's just take the Queen Brana. And I really like this Choco Comet. It can deal damage to any target, so in the late game, you can just zap your opponent. You can also just kill a small creature. The Zell Dinkt is also solid. Really good in the landfall deck. But basically, it can be like a 3-mana 4/3 or 5/3, depending on how many lands you have. Then you get to play extra lands to trigger your landfall cards twice a turn. But I think for our deck, we'd care more about Choco Comet being a kill spell that also makes a creature. So looking at our curve, I think red has seemed the most open as a secondary color, so we'll get to see how this red deck maybe looks. Between Crossroads Village now and Warrior's Sword. So Warrior's Sword is nice because it triggers our Queen Branes. We'll work with our item shopkeep. Will be an artifact and a creature for Slash of Light. We can use it to equip our creatures. So lots of options there. There's also Aerith Rescue Mission, which makes 3 1/1s. I think we're going to take these cards over the land. Aerith or Warrior's Sword. I'd rather have Warrior's Sword, I think. Honestly, I'd rather have the land. I think the land is going to be more useful for my deck. I'm just going to trust my gut on that one. Call the Mountain Chocobo. So you get a creature, and then you get a land, and then you can flash it back and get another creature, another land. Our deck is more mid-rangey, so we could be using this. Black Waltz number 3. This card is really strong. Zenarkand. Very strong card. Because it's like a giant creature, but you can play it as a land in the early turns, which is really great. So we have 1, 2, 3. We're not really excited about the shopkeep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also have the Gaisaw green, so we could just go towards green-white still. There's a Renoa Hearthily. I think we'll just take the Snow Villiers, though. I think we're deep enough into the draft that we'd rather just get a card for our deck. And now we can take Aerith Rescue Mission, make 3 creatures for 1 card. We're definitely going more on towards go wide synergies, even though that's more of a green-white thing. Self-destruct can be a direct damage spell, but other than that, not very good. Like, you can kill creatures with it if you have high toughness, low power creatures, but just kind of bad. Warrior's Sword is totally solid, I think, but I'd rather have the Rescue Mission here. Plays well with, like, You're Not Alone and stuff like that. And now the Sabo Tender. I think our red-white deck is looking pretty solid. Another Aerith Rescue Mission. There's also a kill spell, but we're just going to take the rescue missions and then try to build a kind of tokeny red-white deck. I think we'll take Coral Sword here. Plays well with Queen Brane, because it'll double trigger the prowess for just 1 mana. Chocobo Kick coming back is crazy, but I think our deck is in good shape. Oh, Snow Villiers is a legendary creature whose name is Snow. That's interesting, kind of funny. Okay, Galacat, Wind Crystal. Giving our stuff flying and lifelink. I mean, I don't think we want Galacat. We have 2 artifacts now. Really getting that synergy going. Rydia's Return Wheeling is crazy. I'm just going to take it. If we open some crazy green rare, maybe something happens. Haste Magic. We'll try that. It's good with Queen Brane. Helps it trade. Helps it keep attacking. Warrior's Sword comes back. Nice. Turning all of our random creatures into 4/3s in the late game, like turning a 1/1 into a 4/3, is no joke. Normally you don't have room for equipments and combat tricks. We'll see how that ends up playing out. Currently our non-creatures are higher than our creatures because a lot of our non-creatures are creatures in ways by like making combat stats, so that's pretty good for our... Ooh, Call the Mountain Chocobo came back. We are definitely more of a mid-rangey red-white deck. You don't always have to think, okay, I'm red-white, I'm pure aggro. Everything I do has to be aggressive. It's like, you can be a red-white deck that's like, okay, I can go to the mid-game a little bit, ping them with Sabo Tenders, and like pressure is useful because of pressure's sake, not just because you have, yeah, okay, self-destruct wield, not shocking there. Okay, pack 3. So, now that we've looked at our curve a little bit, let's just look at the cards in more depth. Zac Fair, pretty good card. You can protect your creature, put counters on it, attach any equipment from Zac Fair to something else. This card might wheel. Barrett Wallace. I don't have that many equipments, but it's a reasonable card. I think I'll just take Zac Fair. Zac Fair is nice, especially with something like Queen Brane, and also just like a reasonable stat line to get the game started. You're Not Alone would also be fine for my deck. Adventurer's Airship might even be okay, though it is hard to crew. I think Barrett Wallace would be my second pick, maybe. I'm hoping I wheel Warrior's Sword. This rare is not very playable, just counters an activated ability or non-creature spell, so it's kind of like a weird counter spell that only counters non-creatures. I think our deck is looking pretty solid, though. Now we'll take Thunder Magic. I would love to get a dual land, but we already did prioritize this Crossroads Village, And the Thunder Magic's going to be great. And if we could get Coral Sword back, we'd be happy as well. I'm spending less time on the cards. We've already covered it for our deck. So Thunder Magic's good. Coral Sword would be our second pick, I think. Land over Snowvilliers, but Snowvilliers would be fine. Weapons Vendor is actually a really good card for our deck, potentially. Because we can like equip Warrior Sword for much cheaper. And it replaces itself. I think Thunder Magic is still a better option for us right as of now. I wouldn't mind Weapons Vendor. I think it's a totally solid card. This is our 24 cards right now. I don't think we care about item shopkeep. Light up the stage, a bit of card advantage. Magitech Infantry. Not my favorite card, but if you have some artifacts around, it can be useful. There's also Sleep Magic, which is fantastic. Blazing Bomb, not the greatest in my deck, though I have some ways to trigger it. And then Sabo Tender. I think I'll take Sabo Tender or Light Up the Stage. I just like the idea of Sabo Tender being like in multiple, sitting in play, just dealing damage to my opponent. That seems really tricky to deal with for them. So we'll just take that. Now there's Adeline. This card's an excellent card. Really happy to see this. It just takes over a game on its own. You don't, I mean, it is hard to get double white by turn 3 sometimes, and I don't love having to do that, but it just makes so many creatures. There's another Sabo Tender. There's also Weapons Vendor. I would probably play the Summon Choco, potentially, because of all my like tokens I'm making, but Adeline is just an absolute bomb. It's a total beating. If you play this on turn 3 and get to attack with a creature, like you go, like, let's just say Quarrel into Adeline, attack them, it's so good. Okay, now we'll take Zidane. We can steal a creature and even make a treasure token to maybe help us cast Crystal's Chosen. There's Zach Fair, which is still a good card. Muldrotha's fantastic, but completely away from where we're drafting. Slash of Light would be good too. But yeah, easy. Zidane? Oh my gosh, this card's messed up. You just have some birds and then they each just like one-sided wipe the opponent. Yeah, that's a very good card. Not where we're at though. We're happy to get a White Mage's Staff. He gives our Delivery Moogle another really solid option. Don't think I forgot about that. Currently, it was just getting Coral Sword or Phoenix Down. But now we can get like a 2/2 creature with it, and that's just totally nice. Cloudbound Moogle. Not my favorite option. Summon Choco Moco, I think, might be good for us. We have a couple ways to make multiple bodies with one card. This could enable some attacks, potentially. This card's good. I think our deck is pretty solid, though, right now. So this is like, look at the top 6, getting equipment. Haste Magic's not the greatest world map, so like, we don't have that many equipments. We have 3 equipments, but like looking at the top 6 is a lot of cards, and that could help us find one. And we might wheel the Warrior Sword in the next pack, which we would definitely play. And if you get a giant creature that also gets you a Warrior Sword, that's pretty solid. So, like, might as well. Yeah, we did wheel Warrior Sword. I think we're going to take it over Barrett Wallace. Because with Gilgamesh, we wanted to just have more equipments. And Barrett Wallace, we only have 3 equipments to go with it. And I know that it can deal damage, so it can deal, like, a bunch of damage, but... Beautiful. Coral Sword. Our Gilgamesh ended up being pretty good here. Don't need the item shopkeep. Maybe Barrett Wallace would have been better. Okay, perfect. We got Light Up the Stage. Good card advantage. We have lots of options in this. And we wield Sabo Tender. I'm the only one that likes this card, maybe. Snowvilliers is fine, but I'd rather just take this. Ooh, Slash of Light. Another good removal spell. Our deck is sweet. We have almost too many options. That's why I was so happy to take that tap land when I was able to. Okay. So we're more of a mid-rangey red-white deck. So 17 lands seems correct, given we have like a couple of 6-drop, a 7-drop, a lot of 4-drops, ways to equip things, call them out in Chocobo. I think I'm going to cut this, summon Chocomoco. Summon Chocoboko? Chocomoko? Yeah, Chocomok. I don't even know what I'm saying here. Phoenix down, seems totally solid to get back. I mean, Delivering Moogle has some options now. A lot of the times we're going to have to cut things like that aren't Like, we have to cut that, cut You're Not Alone, because we just have to, if we are having equipment as our combat tricks, we don't need other cards as our combat tricks. Slash of Light is going to be great in this deck. Battle Magic is great. This whole deck seems so good. I want to cut Snowvilliers. Going to cut Promise Fulfilled. We're not particularly interested in Aerith Rescue Mission. I think we can cut Fate of the Sun Christ as well, because we got better removal. We have 2 of these. And we got a battle menu and 2 Slash of Light. So we really, and this thing, we don't really need that much more interaction. So I don't think we need any Aerith Rescue missions. Call the Mountain Chocobo is great with our Sabo Tenders. And hitting our lands for our 7 drops. We have a few equipments. We got 5 equipments, which is nice. And these are the main ones we want to hit. These 3 are the ones we want to hit with our Gilgamesh. Especially the Warrior Swords. Phoenix Down is good with our Moogle. Oftentimes Moogle is going to go get White Mage's Staff, though. And it can bring back our Adeline if that dies. I don't know if we need Quarrel. It is a solid card. Zac Fair. I'm going to cut Zac Fair. Maybe I'll regret it in the future, but I really want to just play all the Sabo Tenders. I have a lot of non-creatures. Queen Brawn, if it gets some attacks, it's going to be pretty good. And it plays great with Slash of Light. Crystal's Chosen is a very expensive card. I'm going to cut the Quirrell. Which might seem crazy, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then, yeah, I think this mana base is good because it helps me cast the Adeline a little bit more consistently. I have to make one more cut because I do think I want to play 17 lands. Though maybe I play 16 lands. It's just, I want to be able to play this more often on turn 3. And hitting lands is good with Sabo Tender. And I have this card for late game. I have equipments I can use. Crystal's Chosen might not be the greatest in my deck. I guess I could try cutting that. It just seems like it'll be good. I cut a lot of the cards it was good with, though, so I'm going to cut it for now, and we'll come back to it later and try it out, maybe. Anyway, this is going to be the build for now. I'll see you in the games. Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the people who support my channel at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. There are about 150 people who support the channel in this way on Patreon, and their contribution makes a big difference towards my ability to make all of the resources that are able to help the Magic community, like my draft guides, my set reviews, my pre-release helper sheets, my cheat sheets for draft, all of that stuff. Patrons really make a big difference in allowing me to do all of those things and spending the time and effort to do so. And it's great to be able to make these free resources, but I do want to give a special thanks to those people who do support and give back to the channel, because they really do a huge service for the community with their contributions. So I really do appreciate everyone who does support me via Patreon, and I do like to make some special content just for patrons, like my card by card tier list for each set, my format thoughts document, and things like that, because Patreon does make a huge difference for the channel, the whole ecosystem. And so if you're able to become a patron and you've been enjoying my content for a long time and you think you can give back and it's something you can do, then Patreon does make a sizable impact. And I really do appreciate everyone who contributes to the channel in this way. I want to give a special shout out to those patrons who contribute at the credits level. It really does make a big difference, and I do appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get to the games. Welcome to round 1. Easy mulligan, can't cast a spell. We can keep this, though, and we will ditch our Gilgamesh because it's so expensive. Yeah, sadly. Hate to see it. Okay, we will name white mana here. So that if we top deck our Adeline, we can cast it. Also, we want to be able to double spell on turn 4 with white mana. And this card's going to be more of a late game card anyway. White Mage's Staff over the battle menu. Makes our Slash of Light reasonable. This is a matchup where having the Gilgamesh would have been pretty nice, though, I will say. Having to mulligan was unfortunate, of course. No blocks. We'll see if they block. They do block. I should have used my Chocobo comment that turn. Oh well. I was really planning on using this to kill a big creature that they play. That's funny. Destroy a creature with power. Not going to be useful. This game's probably over. That card's messed up. It's really hard to kill. Bird Mutant. If I had played Mountain, I could have killed this thing and I'd have another creature in play. Then I could play this thing into this thing and be able to deal 4. Create a 2/2. That's an interesting block there. They're going to cast a 6-drop this turn, and I'm just in huge trouble. Yeah. I think I'm just dead to that Balam T-Rexor. Is a bummer. Yep, this is just so over. If I'd equip this. So I can double block this thing, go to 1. I don't really think I have any outs, though. Oh, yeah, certainly not now. Okay. Back to the drawing board. That did not go according to plan at all. Well, I think not having a 7-drop in my deck was probably good, because I didn't even have 7 mana that game. Let's just play one more game with this configuration before I make any changes, because that was, like, a bit unfortunate. Like, they played that 4-mana rare that's really hard to deal with, and, like, I had to mulligan, so we'll just try it again and see if we can do better. Also, I think I forgot to mention, I'm playing 5 rounds with each of the decks that I do in this event, if I get to 5 rounds, and that will ensure that I get to try out as many different decks as possible, make it full use of the event. So here we have a pretty good curve. 2-drop, maybe use Combat Trick plus another 2-drop, then play the Moogle to get another artifact, or play Warrior's Sword. They're on a mulligan this time. Also, I wonder if I'd use the Chocobo better if I could have won that game as well, where like I just kill their 1/3 guy. Though I ended up killing a 3/3. I think it would have saved me some time. Two. Okay, we'll get red mana. Interesting. Okay, that's pretty good. I will get Skeleton, Spirit, or Zombie. That's just a wizard. That's a Demon Noble Wizard. I think it's just a good time to get the White Mage's Staff. Actually, I can get Phoenix down, and then I can bring back the Delivering Moogle if it dies. And this can give my creature that I steal lifelink. So I can like steal this, then play Phoenix down or something like that. Oh no. Saga Dog. Okay, well that's going to have to die. So it's going to copy. I'm really afraid of that. Not going to lie. Had to be done. So whenever they cast a non-creature spell. Okay. Take this guy. Attack with everything. Okay, I get a treasure token. Now, any of my creatures is lethal with this Coral Sword they don't know about. So if they tap out, that could be good. No, they had another Emperor. Maybe I should have been more patient with the Zidane. Hate to see that. It's exiled, so I can't get it back with Phoenix down. And then I can use deal 4. Okay, so they kill that thing. Sure. Now that they're tapped out, get the win. Pretty nice. I think this deck really performed well there. That was exactly what I was hoping to do, pretty much. So, yeah. Let's see if we can do that again next round. See you there. Welcome to another round. My opponent has mulliganed. We've got a solid hand here. We'll get to see the Sabo Tender in action. We are a little bit short on red mana, but that's okay. Of course. Not the end of the world, though. Okay, that card's great, though. Card is great. I've got a bad feeling about this. I need to draw another red source. They can spend so much 7 mana, so hopefully I can kill them before the 7 mana comes up. I can't block. Okay. Plains is literal worst. Okay. No blocks. Gosh. That's horrible for me to see. This draw is really lining up poorly. Sticking with Phoenix down. This is going to trade with Chocobo. Gosh darn it. Could I just buy the right lands, maybe? What do I have to, who do I have to pay to draw a mountain in this game? It's just like such a difference maker. Oh my gosh. This guy's going to be a huge issue. Call them out, and Chocobo's looking pretty nice too. Especially because I don't have an answer to this thing. Okay. This into White Mage's Staff. I don't want to get Queen Brawn going. So I'm taking 2. Yeah, I think I have to do it this way though. This blocks here. I suspect I'm going to be dealing with a 5/5 flyer this turn. Yep. So if I do draw a kill spell, I can win this game. Like if I draw one of my Slash of Lights or whatever. Or my Battle Tactics. Unfortunately, I would never draw such a thing that would be useful. I think this game's over. Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, why wouldn't they? This is just brilliant. I was really close to winning this game, actually. I needed like one more good spell or to like draw a mountain at some point in this game. I know, I'm kind of frustrated about it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was brutal. I also could have won if I had drawn one of my kill spells the entire game as well. That was another card that would have been useful. Like, I don't know. It just feels bad to lose those sorts of games. Where, yeah. Just tough. Like, if I look at my deck, like, as far as draws were concerned, like, if I draw... I could draw another... My second Thunder Magic could have been useful there. I mean, I had to use my Thunder Magic, but, like, I couldn't cast things the way I wanted. So if I draw a Thunder Magic, Zidane could have maybe won me that game at the end there. Choco Comet could have been good. Slash of Lights would have been good. Battle Menu would have been good. Pretty much drew all the cards that weren't helpful, which was Plains, over and over. Do I want to make any changes to the deck? I don't think so. I think we're probably okay for another game with this configuration. Phoenix Down has not seemed great, but it is good with Moogle. So I like that. The Coral Swords are good with Brawn. Sabotender was interesting at the very least, so cool to try out. And we haven't drawn Gilgamesh yet, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see what we shall see. So I'll see you folks in the next game. Welcome to another round. Do I keep this? I can't keep this. There's no way. Okay, this is much better. We can keep this and get rid of the sword. Sadly. Gosh, mulliganing is so painful. Especially because I've been losing die rolls and stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't feel good, ever. You never get past that feels bad feeling. Okay. This is a plan, though. Queen Brane into Coral Sword is like a plan that we can rely on, potentially. Okay. If they attack, we'll block now. That's a good trade for us, because their creature was bigger. Okay, Slash of Light is a really good draw as well. And now we just hope they don't have a kill spell. If they do have a kill spell, we're in bad shape. If they don't, we're going to be able to maybe snowball a little bit, because we have a really good hand for going with Queen Brane. Boom, we get at least one token. Huge. They're probably going to kill it, deal damage to the attacker or something. Okay. We could have cast Chocobo to do something there, but I think patience is key. The problem with Gilgamesh is we already put one of our warrior swords on the bottom, so like we only have one more warrior sword to go get with Gilgamesh. And I don't think we have any shuffles in our deck. So it's just like a big creature. What do they got? Oh, they have nothing. Okay, so they're just holding like up like a counter spell of some kind, or they just top deck that is more likely. Yep, okay. Do we want to keep our guy alive this badly? I think so. Every creature's pretty valuable to us. And like, I don't know, a 2/2 creature can do stuff. And it's another thing in play for our Slash of Light. Wow, they're attacking us. That means they must have a kill spell or something. Summon Leviathan, of course, of course. Why not? We'll play this. And next turn we can Adeline plus Slash of Light. We'll just hold to the Slash of Light for now. There's some great cards in this set. Sure. That's funny. Okay. Horrifying, but okay. I'm going to kill their flyer. I can always use my Choco Comet to deal 1 damage to Queen Braun to save it. Whether that is actually worth it in practice will have to be determined. Okay. I do like Combat Tutorial. I think it's good. Come on, give me a land. I'm begging you, deck. I'm begging you, deck. Please give me a land so I can kill this before they win the game with it. Thank you. Do they have hexproof trick? No, thank goodness. Okay. Adeline hits like a complete and utter truck. So I have 1 more equipment in the deck, a Coral Sword. This always happens. It's so brutal. Oh well. Monk's Fist, sure. Magitech, sure. Sahuagin, sure. So 1 Warrior Sword is down there. I've got 1 more Warrior Sword in the deck. If I can hit it in the top 6, I'm in really good shape. I think I have to go for it. Ugh, pain. Gosh, I had roughly 1 in 3, or 1 in 4, 1 in 4. Dang it. Huh. That's tough. I feel like the game's just really lined up incredibly badly for me this entire time. I'm just dead. It's just like they always had like the exact answer they needed. They would play like a really good rare. My cards just like didn't quite do enough. It's tough. Going 1 in 3 is never fun. But that's how it goes sometimes. I mean, yeah, just I don't know. I think the deck is okay. It's got some stuff like the Warrior Sword plus Gilgamesh. Like if I hit a Warrior Sword there, I can block some stuff. Everything just kind of lined up poorly in those games. I could have played this guy, could have played this guy. There was a lot of options in the build that maybe would have been better. Like making a bunch of 1/1s could have been useful for some of these cards. But overall, we tried our best, and it just didn't quite get there in the end. Sabotender was a little bit underwhelming is what I will say potentially. So we'll keep that in mind for next time. But I hope you did enjoy the video regardless. If you made it to the end, leave hashtag yeah, I can't even think of a good one. Hashtag equip to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. That's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you next time.